Alright, hello everyone. My name is Irony, your coach of the Kyoto Mianshaos, and here is a painfully late Week 2 video. At the time that I played this match, I was sick, and my voice was not doing great, so this is recorded in post. In fact, it's been like a week since I played it. I'll probably basically record this and then just instantly upload it. But we got some CNL Draft talking, and we're going to talk about the team that I brought, and then we're going to watch the replay. So the team that I went up against is right here. It's Gouging Fire, Prim, Darkrai Scizor, Amoonguss, Lando I, Cinccino, Bronzong, Electros, Girder. The couple of things I was worried about going into this match is mostly stopping a Gouging Fire sweep and setting up for a Spectrier sweep. The only thing that can stop Spectrier on this team is Cinccino and Darkrai, and a very specially defensive Prim. Those are the three main concerns. The other big considerations are Amoonguss, who's an Urshifu check, and no, that's really it. It's like Amoonguss is a really hard Urshifu check. The team that I decided to bring, I initially actually had Urshifu on this team, but ultimately dropped it for Superior. The idea I was gonna have with Urshifu is I would run pads, and I would just bait the Amoonguss in, and then use it as a point for my Gardevoir to go crazy. Which, by the way, this Gardevoir set goes insane. It's AV again. I do actually... There were some changes I would make to it if I played the match right now, but it was a pretty interesting bring. Sheer Force Lando I and Regenerator Amoonguss are really good switch-ins. Or this is a really good, option into, because it just does those abilities better. So it's Mega Heat. Skarm is just standard defensive. I need it for Cinccino, that's why I have the helmet. And it's just a good special tank into their team. Calm Mind Spectre this week. The logic being that if I just boost up in front of a Prim, that's probably my win. It's a little better than Nasty Plot because those special defense bows can actually come in clutch. Grafai this week was Switcheroo Lagging Tail. This basically means that Gouging Fire can never sweep me because I just Switcheroo it and it can't do anything. It then gets revenge killed by my entire team. Lando T is pretty standard, OU beat Gouging Fire set. I forget what my speed is here for. I think it's outspeeding max speed Primarina. I run Smackdown with the logic that if I can Smackdown on their Landorus, I beat it 1v1. Which is really valuable. It's nothing too complicated. My idea mostly was, okay, let me Hazard Stack, and I can win this. If their best removal is Cinccino, then you really don't have removal at all, do you? That was kind of my thought process going in. This was the team. Pretty fire. Nothing too crazy, pretty defensive. But let's just go ahead and check out this match, I guess. Alright, so here's the match. This is pretty much almost exactly what I had expected going into this match. I think the biggest surprise is that I thought Lando wasn't that good into me. So I kind of expected it to be, I forgot what I expected it to be. Maybe Bronzong or Scizor or something. But overall pretty standard for what I expected. So here I'm thinking a couple of things, right? I need my hazards up as quickly as possible. And that, like, I wanted to stop them from getting theirs up if I could. I didn't bring any removal, but they only have rocks on their team, so I wasn't too worried about it. Looking at this team, the only hazard setter is Lando I, which is pretty good. There's not too much else I'm thinking here. Ultimately, I decide I lead Gardevoir, right? The logic being is if they are running Hazard's lead, then they has to be Lando I, and I slaughter that because as you can see, I just traced the Sheer Force. They U-turn turn 1, which doesn't tell me very much. Actually, no, that does tell me something, I suppose. I guess looking back on it, I could have told this, but I believe it would have taken Life Orb damage if it was Life Orb. Which means that this is not Life Orb, and that's not something I realized. Here I just ended up going for Icy Wind, which was kind of a throw. I could have just gone for Moonblast and would have done a lot better damage. And, like, the Lando would have taken, I think, like 70. Or it'd be like 70 or 80, if not just died. So. Yeah, 31 on Moonblast. Nuts damage. Their Lando's back in just their Sludge Wave. This is just pretty standard. Like, I just want to get as much damage out of this lead as possible. Attack where they can't defend, as some people say. And the longer this Gardevoir is just in front of their face, clicking button, Sheer Force boosted buttons, like, the better. It's so good. Here I do have to switch, though. I do need this thing alive. And I just end up going my Lando because I want my rocks. I'm not super worried about Lando HP. I do need it for the Gouging Fire. But, like, I have Grafai, and I have just being able to intimidate the Gouging are both really good. So I just end up getting my rocks up here. And then U-turning out, I believe. Revealing that this is, in fact, Rocky Helmet, as everybody knew going into this. And I get Regenerator. Here I do kind of throw, though, in letting this Spore me. I knew that thing was going to click Spore this turn. And in preps, I was actually going to be safety goggles for the longest time to avoid this. And looking back, the way this played out, I should have been. But I wasn't. And this kind of, like, caused problems. I could have gone Serp, but Serp kind of just gets walled. So, like, I absorbed the Spore, and then what? But here, like, it's just like, man, I want my hazards. They just go ahead and tidy up. I get a Spike Up, and we just kind of trade this back and forth for a moment. Until this thing is +3. And then I Body Press it. I should have done this earlier. And, like, here I kind of have a call to make, like, are they going to attack into my helmet? It's very obvious I'm helmet. Like, no one even questioned that for a second. So I end up Body Pressing here. In the game, I would have told you that was a misplay before I realized, oh yeah, this thing is pads, which was fairly obvious. Especially with the way this was playing. And so I go for another Body Press here. They triple axle. I take virtually nothing for a +3 mon. I think Terra might have killed there. I'm not sure. Their Gouging comes in. And this is, like, a huge problem. Kind of. Because I am here with no hazard up. I really need a hazard. They set up 1 D-Dance, Heat Crash, and I Earth Power. I do need this chip. This chip is important. Even if I trick it, this chip is important. And here I do trick it. Or switcheroo, I suppose. And I do forfeit like 2 kills of this thing, which is kind of unfortunate. Really wish this this was Flare Blitz. Would have made my life so much easier, but it wasn't. What can I do about it? Well, this does mean I get to come in and revenge kill it, or at least pretend to. So here's basically where Calm Mind games start coming in. And the game is over at this point. Basically, like, it's either I win with Spectrier right now, or I lose, because I'm out of options to stop anything, right? My Gardevoir is asleep. It's at good HP, but it's asleep. My Superior can't break anything right now, and Skarmory is almost dead. So it's win or lose, I set up Calm Minds. This drop kind of sucks, actually. Because at this point, like, this would have killed if I did not get dropped. Which would have been I had 1 extra. I would have been at +3 right now as opposed to +1. And they flip turn out, more chip. They go Darkrai, and here's where I fumble the bag. There's 2 things that can happen right now. Either this Darkrai is Scarf, or the Darkrai is not Scarf. I'll go ahead and spoil it. It's Boots. This is a Boots Darkrai. If I had a hazard up, I could have told you this. Actually, let me check something. Am I even faster than this thing? Yes. Yes, I am. I can always Draining Kiss this if I know it's slower than me. And so long as it isn't Specs, I heal out of range of Dark Pulse. If it's Scarf, then I die before I can get an attack off. What I should have done was accepted that if this thing is Scarf, then, like, that's that. There's nothing I can do about it. Because there is not a way for me to win this game if this isn't Scarf. And I switch here. It's win or lose, and there's nothing I can do if I misplay this turn. And I make the worst possible play. I switch out to Gardevoir. Gardevoir is completely passive here. It's Bad Dreams. Which basically means I get 2 KO'd. And they set up a nasty plot, and I think we all know where this game is going from here. Vacuum Wave would have helped, but no. If I brought Vacuum Wave, it would have helped in that situation. I basically ended up just sacking my team to this. So, like, this is GG's. I played this last, like, turn or so very bad. The last, like, relevant turns were fumbled. Which is a shame. It's a hard call to make, especially when you get it. One of the biggest things that can happen that causes a draft game to fumble is these moments where you're like, okay, it has to be this set. It can't be any other set. It's definitely this set. And when you break that expectation, it shatters. When that expectation isn't what you think it is, like, this is Boots and not Scarf like I would have expected, I end up throwing because I just didn't account for it not. I also didn't flowchart these last couple of turns very well at all. The most important thing you can do is say, well, if it is Scarf, here's what has to happen for me to win. But if it's not Scarf, here's what happens. You need to create a 2-part flowchart and get, like, the median answer to win games like these. And if I'd picked the median answer of staying in with Spectrier, I won this. But alas, I didn't. And so it's GG. We're down 0-2. And not with good differential. Losing 0-5 sucks here. But it's fine. We lock in next week. my prep was decent. My play was fine up until these last couple of turns against this Darkrai. And it's a shame. We'll be locking, and we're going to pull through a W. If I don't make playoffs with this team, I am a massive fraud. So, yeah. See you all next week.